Hi, I thought I'd chat to you this afternoon about the long-term ramifications of PTSD. So last week we were chatting about what survival does in the system and how it does things like activates your vigilance. So your nervous system is constantly on the lookout for the next thing to go wrong. But what does it actually do to the body? One of my guests on Bay Health with Madonna Guy a few weeks ago was a victim of workplace bullying. And it's been interesting watching her over the last 20 years because we have seen a decline in her health. She went from a size 6 to 10 body here in Australia to not being that. But we have seen the onslaught of so many health issues over the years. So imagine what happens when your body constantly thinks that it's about to be eaten by a tiger. So it shuts down your gut. So the gut isn't going to work as well as it should, which means you're not going to be digesting your proteins, you're not going to be getting the minerals out of your food, you're not going to even be digesting your drugs properly if you're taking medication. So it means that you're not going to be getting the nutrition out of the food, which means that you're going to be constantly tired. So you imagine what this does in the gut. It can lead to things like indigestion, heartburn, reflux. It can lead to IBS, either the diarrhoea or the constipation. It can lead to things like Crohn's disease and colitis, autoimmunity within the gut. So it can do anything to the gut, not to mention things like bloating, burping, belching, wind, flatulence. So even just those day-to-day little irritants that the body really struggles with. So that's the gut. Now the gut is the first filter of the body. If you think about the filters, the first is the gut, the second's the liver, the third is the immune system or the lymphatic system, and the fourth is the kidneys. So if your gut isn't working, it puts pressure on all of those other organs. By the time we've got autoimmunity going on with Hashimoto's thyroiditis or rheumatoid arthritis or colitis, and there's well over 100 autoimmune diseases these days, and there's 8 times more autoimmunity in women who are much more likely to be bullied in the workplace. So it means that our immune system is attacking ourselves. It's like the immune system has forgotten which part of us are human and which part of us are bugs, infections, pesticides, herbicides, dodgy estrogens, something that it needs to attack. So with something like rheumatoid arthritis, the immune system is literally attacking the joints. With something like colitis, the immune system is attacking the gut. With something like Hashimoto's thyroiditis or Graves' disease, the immune system is attacking the thyroid. But there are immune disorders that attack the ligaments and tendons. There's immune disorders that attack the salivary glands. There's immune disorders that, like iritis, that attacks the iris of the eyes. There's immune disorders that attack the skin, like psoriasis. So we're living in a state of perpetual fear. This is the fight and flight when we're in PTSD. So we're living in a state of perpetual fear, and that activates the immune system to be hypervigilant. So the immune system is doing what our brain is doing. So if you think about it like that, it can then end up leading to just about anything in the body. So like I said, my client who has been bullied in the workplace, in several workplaces over the past 20 years, we've sort of watched her weight get out of control. We've watched depression and anxiety and panic attacks. We've watched all of the above. Endocrine disorders, things like horrible menstrual bleeding, things like polycystic ovaries and endometriosis and heavy clotting periods. So these are things that women wouldn't really think of as being a side effect of PTSD, but imagine what your body's doing in the background. So with PTSD, like, you might be seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist or your doctor for the medication for that sort of thing, but don't forget it can be linked with those very, very physical things you've got going on in your body that's affecting your energy, affecting your muscles, affecting your sleep. So they're often not thought about in the same way. They're not thought about in the same disease process by the medical profession, because they do tend to put mental disorders and physical disorders quite separately, and they're really not. So we've got PTSD, which is something that is affecting so many people. It's not just people in the police force and the army and the fire brigade and ambulance men and all of that sort of thing, where these people are coming in contact with things daily in their life that can create PTSD. It can be happening in teachers. It can be happening in abuse in the home. It can be the kids who are being picked on by teachers. It can be kids who are being picked on by their siblings. So PTSD is quite far reaching, and it's not until we start talking about it and actually looking at the child as an individual or the adult as an individual, that we can actually start going, holy moly, we need to calm down your survival patterns, we need to regenerate your adrenal glands, we need to get that gut-brain connection happening in the gut, we need to get the immune system recognizing what is human and what is not, and then we might start helping people to start feeling better. But yet it's not a one-prong approach. With PTSD, if you don't hit it from several angles, and especially the stuff you can do in your daily lives, things like Epsom salt hot baths, things like skin brushing, things like getting plenty of adequate sunshine, sensible sunshine, things like drinking purified water. Get rid of unpurified water out of your life. It's got too much chlorine and fluoride, and they slow down the thyroid, and they don't help your health. So things like starting to change the things in your home that are toxic into non-toxic versions, the things you wash your clothes in, the things you wash your hair with, the makeups that you put on your face, just every time you make a choice, try to make it a pro-health choice instead of a choice where you're not thinking consciously about it. Every time you choose the foods you're choosing in your life, try to think health. Is this sandwich I'm about to eat going to add to my health, or do I know grains aren't good for me and I really shouldn't do it? So it's about starting to think consciously, what am I doing? How am I looking after myself? And what am I prepared to do in order to help myself start feeling great and love my life again? Because isn't that what we all deserve? We deserve to have a life where we are loved, loving, and lovable. Have a great day.